When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was migrated to Medina, the first ever Islamic state, it was established there in Medina. And the first ever written constitution, that was the constitution of Medina, which is called as Treaty of Medina. What? Treaty of Medina, Misaq Medina. In Arabic, the word is Misaq Medina. In the book of Sirah, I have written that treaty. In the book of Sirah, it is there. You can study it there. So the Treaty of Medina, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that is the first ever written constitution. Before that, only we see a few katbas, engraved stones, which were discovered from Babylonian culture, from the area of Babel and surrounding area. And these are big stones, and in such a language that is written that it was unable to be read. But later on they found out that that is something similar to Hebrew. Something similar to Hebrew. So then they tried to understand it. So they said, oh, these are actually the constitutional articles. Constitutional article. And the one who compiled it, his name is Hammurabi. If you will go to your this thing telephone, you can find Hammurabi. So Hammurabi rules in written shape. Some of them it was found there, and that is also for justice. And we say that his time was round about the time of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. So we don't have any source in this regard, but maybe he learnt it from Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, and then he wrote it. Got it? Good. So anyhow, the first ever written constitution, which is still available, because I wrote it here. Every alim has written it there and quoted it. So that is the constitution which was written by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam for the state of Medina, which is named in Arabic as Misaq Medina. Translation: Treaty of Medina. Got it? Yeah. So what was there? In brief, the treaty said that whatever dispute happened between people which can create a mess or a turmoil, so that would be taken to Allah and His Messenger to decree it accordingly. Then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, from the very beginning, he never appointed judges in the name of judge, but as every governor of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the area, he was a alim, qualified alim of Quran and Sunnah. So his name was, his title was Wali. The title was Wali. In Afghanistan, still the governor is called Wali said. Yes, like as Mansoor Kaza is our Wali for Lahman. So he is, how do you call him? Okay. He is. So he's sitting here, we made him Wali of Lahman. That's why he is doing Allahu nice. Yes. So anyhow, Wali, so he was a great alim of Quran and Sunnah. So he was the one who was beside declaring all these matters and judging the matters as well. Got it? Yes, sometime Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to ask a Sahabi, just go regarding this matter, listen to the parties, and then decree accordingly. But it was on and off. For today, for example, he sent Sayyidina Umar to some area, just go there is a problem, just listen to the party and decree it. Then tomorrow, another problem, so he said Osman should go with them, just listen to the parties and then decree accordingly. Yeah. But appointment as a Qazi and judge, It was not in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he gave all the details about judiciary or about judges. And in this regard, one hadith is a source of judiciary. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, لو أوتي الناس بدعواهم لادعى الناس أموال الناس وأعراضهم ولكن البينة على المدعي واليمين على من أنكره. Subhanallah. What a man he was. Only 2-3 sentences, the whole judiciary process is there. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, if people are to be given based on their claim, he claimed it, just give it to him. This butter is mine, take it. This thermos is mine, take it. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, if people are to be given based on their claim and da'wah, so then the people will claim the amwal and the properties of others and even their honor. Got it? Yeah. They will be putting their honor on stake. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, no, the base is al-bayyinatu ala al-mudda'i, burden of proof, that is on the claimant. Burden of proof, that's on the claimant and the plaintiff. وَالْيَمِينَ عَلَى مَنْ أَنْكَرَ. Denial, it will come from the defendant. So then the oath must be taken from the defendant. And the same procedure is going on everywhere. All over the world from day one. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam made it very much clear in 2 sentences. لَأُوتِيَ النَّاسُ بِدَعْوَاهُمْ لَدَّعَ النَّاسُ أَمْوَالَ النَّاسِ وَأَعْرَاضَهُمْ وَلَكِنَّ الْبَيِّنَةَ عَلَى الْمُدَّعِي أَمْوَالَ النَّاسِ وَدِمَاءُهُم, not أَعْرَاضَهُم, وَدِمَاءُهُم, their blood. So now what is bayyina? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't say that bayyina means the witnesses. Witnesses is one kind of that. Bayyina, which will make his claim crystal clear. So it means proofs. It means proofs. And I have written a book, and that is Nizam al-Qaza fil Islam, judiciary in Islam. What? Judiciary in Islam. So judiciary in Islam, there I have mentioned that almost 26 ways are there where you can make your claim clear in a court of law. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when he was given one decree in this regard, and he was going to decree the case between 2 Sahaba regarding a piece of land. But then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, before giving the decree, he said that innama ana basharu ukhti wa usibu fima lam yuha ilayya. I am a human. Sometimes I am going towards the right decision. Sometimes I make khata, mistake, fima lam yuha ilayya, wherever no any wahi has come to me. So I apply my own mind. So based on the application of my own mind, sometimes you can make mistake in the decree. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that if وَلَعَلَّ بَعْضَكُمْ أَلْحَنُ مِنْ بَعْضٍ, and maybe some guy is very much outspoken, he can argue his case properly and the other cannot. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, maybe the one who is outspoken, he's on the wrong side. But the way he argued his case, so he convinced the judge. That's why we are looking for attorneys. What's the purpose of attorney? To convince the judge to get a decree in our favor. Got it? Yeah. So at that time there was no attorney. Yes, the guy himself was speaking, the plaintiff and the defendant. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said maybe one of them is more alhan. Alhan means he can prove his case. He can express his case properly. And the other one maybe is on the right side, but he cannot express it himself. He cannot express himself properly. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, for sure the judge will go for the guy who proved his case. Who proved his case. Maybe he's on the wrong side. But Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it doesn't mean that if the judge will decree in his favor, that with Allah also that is halal for him. Because the reality is other way around. Legally that is his, But really that is not his. Legally that is his. But really, actually that is not his. So that is haram for him. So if I will decree such a case in such a way, and the guy knows that actually it does not belong to me, but I argued my case properly. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that will not be a piece of land. وَلَكِنِّي أَقْطَعُ لَهُ بِقِطَةٍ مِنَ النَّارِ. That just like a piece of Jahannam I am putting in his neck, garlanding him with a piece of Jahannam. So Sahaba, they were very moving people. So one said, I don't want it. And the other said, I don't want it. Because dispute was because they both have doubt. They both have, and that's why it's disputed. So both of them, they denied to take it. They said, we don't want a piece of fire to be hanging in our neck. Got it? And thus, the piece of land went to the state. Piece of land went to the state. So anyhow, but when the Islamic Khilafat was expanded, so then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam regarding fatwa, he gave this right to some Sahaba. There were almost 130 Sahaba who used to give fatwa in the lifetime of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. 7 of them, they are very famous in the lifetime of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that they are authority to give fatwa. Now everybody is giving fatwa. Yes, what do you say?
Yes.
Everybody giving fatwa, even though it does not know the proper issues of wudu even. Got it?
Yes.
But he is giving fatwa. Because no fear of Allah. Nobody fears Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that I will be questioned for every answer I am giving. What's your source? Where from you? What's your talent? What's your qualification? Who told you that you are a mufti? Just go and give fatwa. Sahaba, they were very much afraid of fatwa. Ibn Abbas, you are trying not to give fatwa. If he was there, somebody asked him, if any other Sahabi was sitting there in a corner of, he said, got it? Like yes, one guy came to him, he asked him a fatwa, he said, go. Sheikh Masruq was a student. Sheikh Masruq was student of Ibn Abbas. He said, Sheikh Masruq, thus is going on, just go there. After thus, he is taking general questions. So you should ask your question also. So he went there. He was sitting there in thus. When Imam Masruq, he asked that any question. So now the student started asking. This guy asked his own question. He answered him. He came back to Ibn Abbas that Imam Masruq, he gave me this answer. So Ibn Abbas said, if I was to give answer, so the same answer I was to give you. So he said that, Imam, then why you sent me there? You should have given me, because I was sitting there for more than 1 hour, listening to his verse, and then asking that question. So you should have given me my answer. Ibn Abbas says, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Man uftiya, fa innama ismu ala man aftahu. If the fatwa is wrong, so the guy to whom the fatwa is given, he would not be questioned for his wrongdoing in the court of Allah. The mufti would be held responsible. You have given fatwa. Got it?
Yeah.
So he said, as much as I can, I avoid fatwa. And we are very brave. They're jumping on the shoulder of another to answer. Got it? For judgment, we are very sharp. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Got it? Or not? Yes. So, these 7 Sahaba who were very famous for fatwa and they were allowed by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam amongst 130. It was Umar, Ali, Aisha, Ibn Masud, Ibn Abbas, Ibn Umar, and Zayd ibn Sabit. Once again, Umar, Ali, Aisha, Ibn Masud, Ibn Abbas, Ibn Umar, and Zayd ibn Sabit. Abu Bakr had given qaza in Medina to Umar. Radiyallahu ta'ala an. But regarding other walayat or states, the system was that with the governor. Because governor was a great alim, so whenever there was a case, governor was to decide it. Then Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu was the first one who appointed Qazi in every wilayat and in every state. And these Qazis in states, sometimes they were appointed by Khalifa. And sometimes the governor concerned, he was appointing someone as a Qazi. Like as he appointed Abu Darda radiallahu ta'ala as the Qazi of Medina. Shuraih ibn al-Haris al-Kindi radiallahu ta'ala the judge in Kufa. Abu Musa Ash'ari, the High Court judge in Basra. Osman ibn Qais, he was the judge in Misr. So it means that in the time of Khulafa Rashideen, judiciary became a specific department. And these Qazis were bound to decree in accordance with Quran and Sunnah. And whenever there is no clear rule, so then to do their own ijtihad, on to apply their own mind. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, if a ruler, he will deduce or he will do ijtihad. So if he approach the right point, he will be getting two reward from Allah. And if he made any mistake, even though he tried to his best to have the proper decision, but he did mistake, still he will be having one reward of his efforts that he tried to his best. Got it? And also, there is a narration that if a Qazi, he made a mistake in pardon, that the guy was not supposed to be pardoned, but because of mistake, he pardoned him. So the Riwayah said that it's better to punish him mistakenly. Punishment mistakenly, that is not good. Pardon mistakenly, that is good. And now, the record of judicial verdicts, to compile it, like as the Supreme Court and High Court decisions, they make a PLD. Yes. Got it? The whole year, whatever the cases were there and it was decreed, so that whole case is there. Got it? Yes. And for next coming date is a source of law as well. That's why the attorneys, they are referring to that the High Court of Michigan in a case, namely Mike versus Fernando. Yes. Mike versus Fernando. Yes. The decree said like this. Yes. Or in Bangladesh, he will say that in a case, Dhaka Supreme Court, in the case, yes, number so and so, he has the book, number so and so, Badrul Islam versus Nazrul Islam. Their names are like this. Badrul Islam versus Nazrul Islam. Yes, so the degree is like this. But this making record of the decrees that started by Salman ibn Anas. He was the judge of Sayyidina Muawiyah in Masr. And actually he started it because he decided a case of inheritance. But when these people went back, so both the parties were saying, no, the Qazi said like this. They said, no, you are wrong. He said like this. So they went back to him. That Qazi said, we got confused. They said, you said like this. We say, you said like this. Got it? So he wrote that decree of him, and later on, whatever his decision was, he was writing it. And in written shape, he was giving a copy of that to those people. Got it?
Yes.
Then in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and in the time of Abu Bakr, there was no proper jail that the people would be put in jail. Because some people, you have to put them in custody. Otherwise, they will create a mess. But in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Abu Bakr, they were not in need of such like a place. But Sayyidina Umar, radiyallahu ta'ala, because later generation, they started something bad. So Sayyidina Umar, radiyallahu ta'ala, he specifically mentioned some places. Also, Sayyidina Umar, radiyallahu ta'ala, he was giving salary system started by Umar, radiyallahu ta'ala. Before that, voluntarily, all the people, they were in army. Voluntarily, they were doing whatever they were given the duty by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, by Sayyidina Abu Bakr. And whenever the spoils of war came, so they were giving them from their spoils of war. Depends that when a jihad is taking place and spoils are coming. But salary was not there. Salary is for the working class of the state. That was started by Sayyidina Umar, radiyallahu ta'ala, like he was giving 100 dirham monthly to Qazi Shuraih ibn Hani al-Kindi, radiyallahu ta'ala. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه محمد وآله وأصحابه أجمعين.